Morning, y'all. What she did was wrong. Absolutely was wrong. She interfered with the work of law enforcement. That matters. It's not a small thing. The law depends on compliance to function at all. Police are allowed to direct traffic. Police are allowed to order people to move. Police are allowed to stop vehicles. When a person refuses those commands, the law is broken. Not symbolically, it's broken. That truth must be said first, and nothing that follows can be trusted. But the law does not stop there. Interference is a crime. It's not a violent crime. It does not authorize punishment by gunfire. Distinction is the spine of the Constitution. Again, the distinction is the spine of the Constitution. The First Amendment, the Constitution protects the right to protest, even when it irritates power. The right ends when contact blocks lawful police work. At that point, the assembly becomes unlawful. The remedy is removal, citation, or arrest. The Constitution does not convert disobedience into forfeiture of life. The moment Fourth enters, once an officer draws a weapon, the First Amendment steps aside. The Fourth Amendment takes over. The shooting is a seizure. Every bullet is a legal claim. The question is not whether she disobeyed. She did. The question is whether killing her was necessary to stop an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm. That is the only standard that matters here. Fear is not the test. Anger is not the test. Frustration is not the test. Necessity is. Due process. The Fifth and 14th Amendments impose the hardest rule in American law. The government may not take a life without due process. Due process is not a shouting warning. It's not a command ignored. It's not a moment of chaos. It is a court. It is evidence. It is judgment. Once the government kills, process ends. That is why the Constitution treats lethal force as an emergency measure only. What her wrongdoing does and does not do. Her interference justifies enforcement. It justifies detention. It even justifies her arrest. It does not justify execution. A person can be wrong and still be protected. That's the point of the law. When killing becomes criminal, a deadly force is used when retreat is possible, when distance can be created, when the danger arises from officer positioning, when the threat is flight rather than attack. Then the Constitution withdraws its shield. At that point, the badge explains nothing. Killing becomes subject to the same criminal law that binds everyone else. The line the law draws. The law is not sentiment, it's exact. Disobedience is punished in court. Violence by the state is justified only to save a life. This case turns on that line. She was wrong. That does not answer the question, though. The question remains whether killing her was the only lawful option left. If it was not, the Constitution already gave its verdict. Los Aves.